Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I've got for you this absolutely gorgeous Ford C-Max, and as always I'm going to do a quick walk around just so you can see the condition of the car, and then we're going to jump inside and I'm going to show you all the interior features and gizmos and gadgets and everything that this car comes with. So like I said, this is a Ford C-Max Zetec. It's finished in black. It is obviously an MPV, so it's a family car. It has a 1.6 liter petrol engine and it puts out 123 brake horsepower. It was first registered on the 18th of December 2015, and it has a valid MOT until the 5th of February 2026. So it's just past its MOT. It comes with 12 months MOT as well. And not only that, but it's an advisory free MOT. And I believe the last 4 or 5 MOTs passed advisory free. So whoever had this car really looked after it. It's got a annual road tax of £210, which is not bad considering the size of this thing. And it sits in the insurance group 16E, which is quite low in the insurance bracket. And again, that's not going to cost you a fortune to insure this thing either. CO2 output is 149 grams per kilometer. And in terms of fuel economy, you can expect to get about 33 miles per gallon around town, 54 miles per gallon on a motorway run, with a combined fuel economy of 44 miles per gallon. It's got a top speed of 117 miles per hour, and it has a 0 to 60 time of 11.5 seconds. So it's not a race car, it's a family car. So obviously it's probably not going to win you any races off the traffic light, but it's not slow either. I mean, it's decent. But yeah, like I said, the last MOTs were perfect. They're brilliant. Somebody really took care of this thing. It's only got 2 previous owners, so it's 3 owners in total, and it drives absolutely beautiful. One really cool thing, this is one thing to check out for when you buy a car. Like there's a couple of telltale signs. So obviously make sure that the engine works and the electronics works and everything. But a couple of things that not a lot of people check is check the tires. But I don't mean, when I say check the tires, I don't mean check how much tread there is on them. So these ones, plenty of tread. These are like brand new tires. But I don't mean check the tires as in the tread. I mean check the make of the tires. Now, even if they're budget ones, that's not an issue, okay? But what I mean is check all 4 corners. Now, if a car has 4 different makes on each tire, on each corner, then that car could probably have been driven like on a shoestring. It's basically trying to save as much as possible on things like tires. And the thing is, tires are one thing you don't really want to be cheap on, because if you think about it, you're driving this 2-ton piece of metal, right, at 70 miles an hour, right? And the only thing that's connecting you to the road are the tires, right? It doesn't matter how many safety features. You could have 100 airbags in that thing. If you put the cheapest tires you can find on a car, that's basically your life depends on these things. So don't cheap out on tires. Like, you can cheap out on other stuff. If you're one of your headlights gets cracked, you can find them on eBay. Or you got a chip in the window, you don't have to get a manufacturer one. You can use like auto glass and stuff like that. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but don't cheap out on tires, right? So these ones, they've got matching Goodyear tires on the front and matching Continental tires on the rear. So this is another really good sign. So even if they're not the same, so it doesn't have to be all 4 of them from the same brand, as long as you've got decent tires, but they have to be matching either on the front or on the rear. But matching tires are good. And another telltale sign is the exhaust pipe, which I'll show you when we get there. But anyway, sorry, that was 5 minutes of me just telling you to buy good tires. Anyway, over here, so you've got, like I said, the tires are practically new. But inside the car, it's again a really good example of how a car should be kept. So really, really good condition. Bear in mind that this is a 10-year-old car, right? So really nice soft touch materials. But check how the seats have been cared for and looked after. Perfect. Like, you can't wish for more. Nice big glove box, very spacious. You've got your locking wheel nut in there. You've got your owner's manual in there as well, and there's plenty of space in the glove box. Now, having a look over at the rear, so you do get manual windows on the back, but again, the seats just immaculate, absolutely immaculate. You've got isofix points on the two outer seats, so on that one and on this one over here, and you've got these back pockets where you can put snacks, iPads, stuff like that. And then down there you've got a cubby, and underneath that you've got a 12-volt socket, which again is great because that will keep the kids entertained. Right. Let's move over to the rear. So like I said, it is a C-Max, and just to show you, let me see where here it is. So the exhaust pipe, it's nice and clean. If you buy a car that's got the exhaust pipe the same color as this car, I would be very careful, because that car could have had a hard life, in the sense that it's been racked around, revved at 4,000 RPMs constantly, or it could be a sign of oil burning. So there's loads of things, but obviously these are things that you learn, like me. So I've learned them the hard way, some of them, but there are things that you learn nonetheless. Boot, absolutely massive. Like, you can literally fit anything in here. But then again, like I said, it's a family car, so that's what it's meant to do. You've got another 12-volt socket in the back, which is great because if you have like a fridge or a vacuum or something like that, you can plug it in there. And then you've got these little hooks, which are really cool, because those hooks, you can use them to hang your groceries. So if you go shopping, you can put your bags there, so you stop everything rolling around in the boot. And then it's the same over here as well. You've got that little hook. Underneath here, you've got your spare tire, which is a space saver, so it's not a full size, but still better than those stupid tire inflating kits that you get these days with loads of manufacturers. I just think they're completely useless, to be honest. You got a nice grab handle here to lower the boot, just like that. And let's just move over on this side. It's your fuel gauge, your fuel cap there, and again, as I was saying, matching Continentals on the back. Again, plenty of tread on them, but like I said, it's just been MOT, that it's advisory free, so I wouldn't expect it to have any issues. Let's have a look over on this side. Again, the materials really good. It's been very well kept, and again, for a family car, you'd expect this to have obviously kids, dogs, stuff like that, but no, it's been very well looked after, as you can see. You have side airbags as well for the front occupants, and I'm just going to show you this tire really quickly. Again, matching Goodyears on the front. And just before I jump over at the driver's side, I'm just going to pop the bonnet so we can have a look at the engine bay. So the bonnet is over on the left side here, passenger side, and there is, right above the Ford logo, there is a little latch, and here's the engine. Now, one thing you're probably going to notice is that the engine bay is not particularly clean. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you probably know this already, but I don't like to clean engine bays. There's a very important reason for that. So if you go and buy a car and the engine bay was squeaky clean, there could be two sides of that story. Number one, the owner is a very, very careful owner. He absolutely loves his car. He cleans it every 3 hours. He polishes it and he keeps his engine bay in squeaky clean condition for whatever reason. That is very unlikely. The most likely possibility is that at one point there was a massive oil explosion around here, or in the coolant tank, or anything like that, and basically somebody's trying to hide the evidence, if I can say that, in the sense that they've jet washed it and they've cleaned it and it looks nice and squeaky and clean and everything. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a car like that because I don't know the history of it. I'm not going by words like, yeah, it's absolutely fine, mate. It's mint, never let me down. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm there to spend my money, and if I'm not feeling 100% sure on what I'm buying, I'm just going to walk away, because there's thousands of these things on the roads. You don't have to buy the first one you see. And I say this to all my customers, and I know it's very counterintuitive because I should say, yeah, buy mine, but I'm not like that. I don't tell people, yeah, just buy it. But no, if it's not for you, it's not for you. That's fine. Somebody else will come along and will buy it. And that's one thing I've learned, is I'm never going to push somebody to buy something because I'm afraid it's not going to sell, because all the cars sell. Anyway, that's your coolant, nice and pink, no mayonnaise in there, so no head gasket issues whatsoever. The engine bay, again, I don't know how well you can see down there, but there's no oil leaks or anything like that. It's very solid, and it starts straight away, no issues whatsoever. Speaking of which, let's jump inside and I'm going to start her up. Let me see if I've got the right key. No, that's a Mini. It's a Mini for that one, the blue one, which is already up for sale. Let me just zoom it in. It's a Mini Cooper S convertible, which there is already somebody interested in it, and well, they've actually came over today. They test driven and they loved it, so they will come back tomorrow to pick it up. Cool. So starting with the driver's side, so you do have front electric windows, and you've got electrically adjustable mirrors as well. This is your lock and unlock button, and down here, this is the position of the headlamps, so you can lower them or raise them. That's to turn your lights on, and that's for the intensity of the light in the dashboard. The driver's seat, which is obviously the seat that's seen the most wear, you would not even think that it's done the mileage that it's done. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like it's very high mileage, but it's still done a fair few miles. Oh. Now, one thing I can say about these is that they are very, very comfortable. Do you know what? I had a chat. I'm sorry, this is gonna end up being a very long video, and I'm sorry, but I actually had a chat with a very, very good friend of mine, and he asked me, like, out of all the hundreds of cars that you buy and sell and everything, is there a car that you think had everything and you liked how it drives and the position and everything? And I know you're going to think I'm saying this because that's what I'm filming right now, but I genuinely said a Ford C-Max, because I just love, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, right? There's no such thing as perfect when it comes to cars, but it does everything good. And by doing everything good, this is as close to perfect as I can get. So, like I said, there's no such thing as a perfect car. If you tell me a perfect car, I will find you at least 3 downsides to that car. Whether it's the engine, the gearbox, the driving position, the clutch, I'm not talking about aesthetics. I'm not talking about the way it looks, because I know that's subjective. Everybody likes different things, and that's the beauty of all of us being different. But I'm talking about genuine reliability issues or things that I don't like. Um, so yeah, right. Let's go back to this. Well, it's 15 minutes and I haven't even talked about the interior. Sorry about this. It's probably going to be a long video. Right, so steering wheel. It's very nice because it is the facelifted version, so it is the updated one with the nicer button. So obviously you do have a multifunction steering wheel. This is your indicators over here, and then over there you've got your wipers. So to start the car up, get the key and pop the key in the ignition just down there. And I think this is a foot on the clutch thing. Right, turn this down because I don't want YouTube to strike my video, but let me check. Yes, so you have to have your foot on the clutch. Press clutch. So foot on the clutch. All the lights come on as they should. And then the car starts straight away on the button. No issues at all. Now, you can see the dashboard. It's very, very nice layout of the dashboard. You've got your rev counter over on the left. You've got your fuel gauge over there. You've got your water temperature there and your speedometer over on the right. In the middle, you've got a big screen, your trip computer, which you can move with these arrows. So you keep going down. So that's speed, trip odometer, average fuel, instant fuel, distance to empty, trip timer, average speed, and then goes back to this. And then you can also go back. And then you got trip computer 1, trip computer 2, information and settings. So there's plenty of adjustments in there, which obviously you can do once you get familiar with the car. Over on this side, you've got your volume up and down. That's to answer and to reject the phone call, and that's your voice assistant as well. Please say a command. Cancel. So yeah, that works absolutely fine. Moving over to the center console, again, I do love how the center console looks. It's very what's the word? Symmetrical. That's the word. It's very symmetrical. It looks great. It's perfect. And down there you've got your main screen, and then you've got a USB port in there as well. And as you can see, you do have DAB radio. Which works absolutely fine. But obviously because of YouTube, I won't keep the radio on because I don't want YouTube to strike my videos. Now, these are to close and to open air vents. You've got your big, massive air vents over on the sides. And then over here, you've got your radio controls. That's your volume. That's to tune it. Obviously, these are your preset buttons: radio, traffic announcement, media, phone, menu, sound, and literally everything else. Actually, if I was to go into menu, so there you go. You can probably see it. So sync settings. Let me just go back again. So you got media, phone, menu in there, and there's this. Should be a radio up there as well. So yeah, and you can navigate with these arrows. What's that? That's sync settings, clock settings, and everything. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of those now because there's no point, but you get the gist of it. And then, like I said, you got AM, FM, DAB. So that's good. That is all good. Right, so those are your radio controls. Moving down here, you've got your climate controls. So this is for your fan speed. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. That's your front window defrost, rear window defrost. No, sorry, that's your front window defrost, and this is for your front heated windscreen. So basically, this is another thing. I see these small little things that I love about the Fords. So the screen actually has some. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. Oh yeah, there you go. You can probably see them. You see those little squiggly lines that go over? They go all the way down the windscreen. So those are heating elements. So when you press this button, let's say if it's absolutely freezing outside and your windscreen is frozen, you press this button and it will defrost the windscreen about 10 times quicker than if you just turn on the heating from the vents. So it's absolutely perfect. I love that because you jump in, you turn that on, and it defrosts and it demists it straight away. So it works as the same principle as the rear window. So if you drive a car at the moment, you know that when you put your rear window defrost, it's got those heating elements. You can probably see them in the mirror there, in the back window. You can see those black lines going across it. So it's got the same thing over on the front, but they're so thin that you can't actually see them unless you're actively looking for them. So right now, if I was to look out the window, you can't see those things. It's just that if I bring the phone, well, the camera close, that's when you can see these little squiggly lines. So you can't see them, but they're there, okay? And then they're absolutely brilliant. Over here, you've got a 5-speed manual gearbox, which works perfect. There's no issues with it whatsoever. So put my foot put my foot on the clutch. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then you've got reverse as well. So it goes absolutely fine. You've got a little cubby here, which to be honest, I don't know what that's for. I just don't know what you could put in there. But you got another 12-volt socket in here. So 3 12-volt sockets. You got one here, one in the rear, and one in the boot. So perfect. Good old manual handbrake. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm a big fan of manual handbrakes because, well, because they're a lot better than the electronic ones. Like, again, personal preference, right? But with my experience, they're a lot cheaper to fix. Very rarely go wrong. When something goes wrong, it's usually the cable that needs tightening, and that's it. Now, if you have an electronic handbrake, there's computers on top of computers that talk with other computers and tell them to put the handbrake on. Why would I want to rely my handbrake onto a computer, onto an electronic part that could fail at any point? Yeah, no. And I've had that happen to me once. I'm not going to go into the story, but it was more expensive than the car was worth. So that went to scrap. So yeah, manual handbrakes. I know they're bigger. I know they're clunky, if I can say that. Electronic handbrake takes about the same space as this little 12-volt thing. You just press the button and it's on. It's convenient. I get that, but that's all it is. Convenient. It's not practical. It's not fun to fix it, and it's just give us manual handbrakes, all right? Over here, you've got a nice storage area, a cubby, and these are very interesting. So you can actually use these as cup holders, but you can probably see it says the word press on there. So if you actually press on that, you can move it forwards and backwards, same as with this one. So it depends. Let's say you bring this back like this, you put your cup here, and if it's too much space, you don't want to have it wiggling around, you press this down, you push it forward, and then that's it. It holds your drink in place. And it's the same thing with this one, which is great. Now, another really interesting thing, you see where that key symbol is there? Now, I don't know why they've put it here. I know why some of these cars would have it, but I don't know why this car has it. And I'll tell you why. Because some of these cars, they come with a push start button. So you don't actually need the physical key to put it into the ignition to start it, right? Now, they usually have a button to start it here. So foot on the clutch, press the button, and the car starts. Now, I get that because sometimes what could happen is if the battery in the key runs low, then that little computer thing doesn't read the fact that the key's in the car and it won't start. Now, what you do in that situation is you take the key and you put it on this thing here. So let me just show you now. Let me just demonstrate it with the mini key. So let's say if you've got one of that start stop thing, right? Because obviously the chip inside the key, you can still read it. So what you do is you take the key, you leave it there, just like that, right? You put the key in like that, and then you press the start button, and then it will start because it will read the chip of the key. It doesn't need a battery. So I get on those cars, I understand, and it's a really good place to put it as well. But I don't see why they've put that on this car, because this car has just a regular barrel ignition. So You physically have to put the key in to start it. Unless they haven't changed it. So for example, this car, if it was a higher trim, a higher spec, then it would have had that start stop button and it would have had that there. But they probably just decided not to change it, and they just left it there. But it's completely pointless in this car, to be honest. It's a nice little key logo design thing, but that's it. Anyway, wow, 25 minutes, Jesus. Right, I'm sorry for keeping you here this long, but as you can see, I like to talk a lot. Now, another thing I absolutely love about this is the armrest. Now, why do I love the armrest? Because it extends. You bring it closer and you've got such a great driving position. You sit very comfortably on it, and you're literally one hand, one palm distance away from the gear shift, gear lever. So it's a very perfect driving position. I don't know if that sounds good. Very perfect. It's a perfect driving position, right? And then obviously this lifts up as well, and then down there you've got a big storage. That's quite deep, actually. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it is very deep. You can literally put probably a 2-liter bottle standing up in there, and you also have a USB port and the auxiliary port in there as well. Right, let's move up here. So you've got your rear view mirror over there, and then over here something very cool. And here's another thing I love about this thing, and the fact that it has a sunglass holder. Like, why don't all cars come with a sunglass holder? I just don't get it. There's so much unused space here for a lot of cars. They could put one of these, but see, it's just these small little things that add up for me that make it close to perfect. That's it. But this doesn't stop there. No, because this is a family car. Now, imagine you're driving and you've got your window, you got your rear view mirror, and you keep looking front, you look in your rear view mirror, looking front, rear view mirror. But one thing you don't see is the seats. So you literally have to like go all the way up to see the seats there. Now, this is where Ford brought this. Now, this is a perfect little mirror. As you can see, you're looking forward, you're looking at that mirror to look behind you, and then you quickly glance in that mirror and you see perfectly what's happening behind you. Like, perfectly what's happening behind you. So, again, really nice little feature. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, is it a perfect car? No, absolutely not, because there's no such thing as a perfect car. But is it close to being perfect from all these small little attention to details? Absolutely. Yes, 100%. And I don't know why, but I just love the way this car looks, the way it drives. And there's a good reason why I've got 4 of them right now. So I've got this one here, which is going up for sale now. You probably see the front end of another one just there. So that one is very similar to this one. Okay, and I've got another one which is being prepped at the moment. So that one's being cleaned and everything. And I've got another one to pick up. I've already bought it, and I've got another one to pick up. Now, all these 3 are black. So this one, that one, and another one that's being prepped right now, they're all black. And I've got another one which is brown. So yeah, that's why I buy so many of these, because I've never had any issues with them, and they drive absolutely beautiful. Right, let's go and park this baby up. And the seating position, oh my god, it's so nice. It's so comfortable. Anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping about it. Right, I'm just gonna park it next to my Skoda over there, which I've just finished filming with that one earlier today, actually. Is that in reverse? Yes. Nope, it's not in reverse. That's it, now it's in reverse. Now you can probably hear the parking sensors kicking in. Now I think there is a small issue with one of the parking sensors. I'm gonna have to have that looked out for. I think it's covered with something, and it just keeps beeping, which is fairly annoying. But I'll get that looked at. Those are aftermarket parking sensors anyway, so they're not genuine. So I think that's why they're playing up a bit. But anyway, right. That's pretty much it. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for spending 30 minutes. I can't believe I've been in here for 30 minutes. Right. If you're interested, don't hesitate to contact me. You can find me on 01684 355 032, or you can visit our website at www.vindemotors.co.uk, or send me an email at vindemotors@gmail.com. Thank you very much for your time, guys. I really appreciate you sticking all the way to the end. 31 minutes. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You can leave them in the comments as well. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or if you want to come and test drive this thing, again, get in touch and we can book an appointment. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.